Welcome to Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair.
Blair, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Yourself?
Oh, I am doing just fine. Very excited to chat about this week's bonus episode, a movie we've been talking about for quite some time now.
Forever.
So without any further ado, what do you say we dive right in to this week's bonus episode, The Exorcist Believer. Runtime on this one, 1 hour, 51 minutes. Blairski, initial thoughts on that runtime?
Kind of long, and it's a slow movie, and it is crazy that they cut a bunch of time already
minutes?
from it. Yeah,
nearly
minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah. Good word, good place to start for our next segment, likes and dislikes, the portion of the show where we talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and everything in between. Yeah, felt a little bit long.
It was just a slow buildup. To the end of the movie, which is kind of predictable. Okay, I want to say this. I was shocked at the bad reviews. Before we even watched it, I was just shocked at how bad the reviews were. Like, it made me very worried. So me and you both went into this movie not really expecting anything, right?
Yeah.
And I found it a lot better than the reviews said it was. I was pleasantly surprised with the movie.
Yeah, I am. I'm on the opposite side of that. I feel like I totally anticipated the reviews to be awful for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily because the movie itself is bad, but because fans of horror movies do not like when their beloved franchises are done dirty.
I.e. Halloween Ends.
We saw that a little bit with Halloween Ends and kind of the uproar around that movie. So I think even right before this movie came out, people were already writing it off.
Yeah.
Myself included. I remember early on when we found out this was coming out and of course who was directing it, I groaned.
Yeah.
I was excited to see it, but I was immediately like, this movie is not going to be great.
I'm pretty sure we talked about that in like a previous episode when we first announced the movie.
Yeah. Honestly, all I can say regarding the reviews is see the movie and decide for yourself.
Exactly.
I think some of you will be pleasantly surprised and some of you will still think it's absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
But don't listen to what anyone else is saying online. Go and see it for yourself.
Man, online, I've seen both sides of the spectrum. I've seen 1 out of 10 reviews, and I've seen 9 out of 10 reviews.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like, it's going to be like that for every movie. But and don't compare it to the original because it's not the original.
If you compare any remake or a sequel to the original movie, you're just setting yourself up for failure before you even watch it.
Totally. And I don't think it's trying to be the original.
No, not at all.
I don't think it claims to be the original at all. I think it's a different possession story, which whether you like it or not is maybe a little bit overplayed and predictable. At this point in the horror genre, I feel like they kind of have a formula to possession movies, as do a lot of, slasher movies tend to have a bit of a formula. But yeah, make up decide for yourself whether or not this movie is good. Go and see it though.
I feel like they're just trying to refresh and revamp the franchise just by still paying homage to the original is all they're trying to do. Totally.
Like you said too, is very similar to kind of our Saw 10 experience. I went into this movie not necessarily with low expectations, but I tried to go into it with no expectations.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be shit and I wasn't expecting it to be great. I expected to go in and enjoy or not enjoy. I went in going to see a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And I let it, after nearly 2 hours, then I would be able to decide whether or not I liked it.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
kind of did the same thing for Saw 10, and surprise, surprise, I enjoyed it. I had a fun time watching that one.
Yeah, you did. You did. That was the first thing you said to me after we left Saw 10 is I was pleasantly
It was a lot of
surprised.
fun. Yeah, yeah. Back to The Exorcist Believer, though. I do want to say there was, some things that I really enjoyed about this movie. Holy hell, was there a lot of jump scares.
There was, especially the first half of the movie, it was all jump scares.
First half, it was the very first shot of the movie.
Yeah.
It was a jump scare.
Yeah, it got me.
It got Blair. Blair turned to me and said, "That got me." Not only did it get Blair, but the theater itself was jam packed, and it got most everyone in the theater.
Yeah, it did.
And it wasn't overly scary. It was just
it was sudden. It was very sudden.
It was sudden, and it was the sound was very jarring. It was loud, and it was kind of
we were also in the D-box theater, so it like literally vibrates the entire theater.
The whole place was shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say there's about 5 or 6 really good jump scares in this movie. Most of them having to do with the possessed girls themselves.
Except the first two that really got me, they were both animals.
Yeah, there was the dog, and then remind me, do you remember what the second one with the dog, and then
wasn't it like a deer of some kind, or I can't remember.
I think you're right.
I think it was like a deer of some sort, moose maybe, or something like that.
Yeah. Overall, what did you feel about the atmosphere of this movie? Like, what did you think of, I guess, the lighting, the sound, the way it, all of those hit your senses? What did you feel about that?
Defcate, I don't want to do this, but compared to the original, it was definitely different. Yeah. But I liked it, man. I thought it was good. My big problems with this movie is just how slow it is. And my other big issue with this movie is all the really, really, really good scenes you kind of see in the trailer, man.
Yeah.
You don't see the entire scenes play out in the trailer, but yeah, you see pretty much all the good scenes in the trailer.
Which that has been kind of a common theme amongst a lot of horror movies that have come out recently is let's tease maybe a little bit too much.
I hate when they do that, and they've been doing it way too much lately.
And the thing is, we're catching on as fans. We're catching on. We're starting to feel like, okay, you're showing us everything in 3 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
Save some for dessert. Save some room for dessert.
Well, that's the thing. You can kind of realize it when you're watching trailers like that, and then it makes you already think the movie's going to be bad before you see it, which is kind of the situation in this. But to get back to your question, I'm sorry, to get back to your question, the atmosphere, I thought was good. I thought the atmosphere was good.
Yeah, I thought it was neat. I thought most of this movie, minus the first 10 minutes, was mostly shot in dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember leaving the theater and saying to you that the sound was really interesting. They didn't play a whole lot of the famous theme song, but when they did, it was like, okay, excellent. The one thing that I noticed, it was really, really quiet. The movie was really, really quiet. The theater was really, really quiet. But whenever there was sound, it was like that first jump scare in your face, and
extremely
you were
loud, right?
completely surrounded by it.
Yeah.
And it was overwhelming. It made you feel anxious, which I think was, or I imagine was, the entire purpose of it. But there was not really any in between. It was either really really quiet or really loud.
I totally agree, man. What did you think about the makeup on the girls? Actually, what did you think about the girls in general?
I thought the girls were fantastic. Yeah, I have here written down Olivia O'Neill, who played Catherine, and Lydia Jewett, who played Angela, were a lot of fun. They clearly connected off screen, and that really showed on screen. I thought the two were great together. And it was a really nice 1-2 punch. It was a nice touch that we saw not one person, but 2 people being possessed. and kind of that whole dilemma, not only between them, but with their families. And spoiler alert, when it comes down to, well, you have to choose one, you have to choose one, it's a whole different conflict that's added into this franchise, I guess, is okay, now there's two people involved here, two families. What do you do?
I 100% agree. I have that written down. Just love the fact they had two girls possessed at the same time.
Yeah.
And the fact that they shared the same heartbeat.
Yeah.
They were talking in sync even. It just made it extra, just extra creepier to me in those scenes.
The movie is all about having a special bond. So whether it's Lydia having a special bond with her mother who is passed away, or whether it's Lydia and her father who have a really special bond because it's just the two of them, or of course whether it's the two girls who have this special bond because they're messing around with things they shouldn't be messing around with. This whole movie is all about special bonds.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned it, but you have Elaine Bernstein as Chris McNeil back in this one. She doesn't have a huge part in this movie. The bits of the movie that she is in are really, really cool. But again, it's all about special bonds. So her, and obviously her broken bond with Reagan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about, I don't know where I'm going with this, but this movie is all about bonds. And I guess going back to the two girls, their bond was so awesome, was so strong. They did a great job, I thought.
They were the best part of the movie to me. My favorite scenes, looking back, all my favorite scenes of the movie, they were in.
Agreed. So. Yeah. You had mentioned makeup. Let's talk about the makeup because I thought it was great.
I thought it was awesome. I found that one girl, I can't remember the character's name, but once she got possessed and the makeup started coming on and she started looking more and more, demonic.
Yeah.
She reminded me so much of Reagan.
Catherine. The character Catherine.
Yeah. I thought that was so awesome.
And although both of the girls were really, really strong, I felt like maybe Catherine got a little bit more screen time once they are both possessed.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether it be during the exorcism or whether it be in the hospital or whether it be the scenes done in the church, she was so good and so creepy. And yeah, that makeup I imagine the makeup and being in makeup helped her so much.
Just getting into
character. Yeah. Absolutely. How could it not, right?
Yeah.
The big makeup thing that I can think of is obviously not only the scars on them, but I'm thinking like the upside down crucifixes that are carved into their foreheads during the exorcism. And I believe there's a sound cue where you can hear like the skin peeling.
Oh, fuck. I didn't realize
pretty disgusting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty disgusting. Yeah. What did you think of the exorcism scene?
I wish it was longer. But then that would have made a longer movie, right? So they probably, I kind of wish they started it earlier, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't like the fact I wasn't a fan of the priest.
Which one?
The one that was hiding in his car for half the time.
Gotcha.
And again, I hate to compare, but the original Exorcist, the priest was just so badass.
Yeah.
Like he was
absolutely
badass in your face priest. And this was just a scared priest hiding the whole time. And then when he finally decided to show up, it was just very quick. It all just ended very fast.
Very anticlimactic.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You're expecting him to have, I guess, more of a presence or more of an impact on the actual exorcism.
More of a fight, right?
They build it up as if there is going to be a massive fight. And with that character in particular, spoiler alert, there isn't. There's maybe a fight with himself. But as far as the fight with the two demons, nothing.
No.
I thought it was, I actually felt like there was in the exorcism scene, there was a whole lot of nothing going on. I felt like, I agree. I felt it could have been longer with more stuff being done.
I mean, there was some creepy scenes, like when the girls, you know,
Absolutely.
their heartbeat. That's when they find out their heartbeats in sync, and
Yeah.
the girls are back to back in the chair, and they lean their heads back, and they go like drip, drop, drip, drop, drip,
Yeah.
drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, there were some creepy parts, but again, that was in the trailer.
Yeah. I really wish I wish we would have gotten more of the, I love when the girls get the demon voice, a voice that is clearly not
Mhm,
their own.
mhm.
Um, I wish there was more of that.
Hey, did you notice the flash of the demon?
Yeah, and I wasn't crazy about it.
No,
Which, in my
no.
opinion, again, I'm trying not to relate it too much to the original. To me, the original movie, that is the scariest part for me.
They did it
Is
so good. They did
the
it so
quick
good.
the quick glimpse of Pazuzu.
Mhm.
That is to me the scariest part of that movie. And I feel like in this one, it was a lot of flashing images, which I just felt were overused and a little distracting.
They weren't even kind of clips of the demon like it was in the original. It was just
Yeah.
clips of them
Yeah.
already possessed.
But it was kind of all like, and the flashes were so quick and so bright that you couldn't really figure out what it was supposed to be,
Mhm.
you know? Whereas again, in the original, that first shot of Pazuzu, it was like, wait, I saw something and it was clear what I saw, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the
I
most
think
important
because
point of
well,
that,
it
man. Yeah.
happens so quick, but it's like it happens so quick, but it's so clear what you saw. But it's like, did
Yeah.
I actually see it? Whereas this, everything happens so quick, it doesn't give your brain time to register. What did I see? Like it wasn't even clear what I saw.
Yeah.
You know? Uh,
Which made it kind of like pointless to have, right?
yeah, I
But
did.
whatever. That's something minimal.
Yeah, yeah. It is what it is. I do love how into it the audience was in the theater that
Yes.
we saw it in. I mean, that theater was silent, man. That theater
Yeah.
was silent, and it was not because people were bored. It was because they were holding on to every word that the characters were saying. Whether, the script was great or not, that's something else. But I mean, the audience was in it for the ride.
They were in it, and even leaving the theater as the movie was ending, just kind of eavesdropping a little bit just on conversations as we're walking down, and I didn't hear anyone complaining.
Yeah,
I didn't hear any man that movie was shit or anything like that. So yeah, people seem to at least enjoy themselves.
yeah. What did you sorry, I had brought it up previously, but I do want to touch on Elaine Bernstein
Yeah,
as Chris McNeil.
yeah, yeah.
Kind of a fun addition to the cast, I think.
I think she was. What do you think of her treatment of her? And spoiler alert, I'm talking about what happened to her eyes.
Yeah. Again, I felt like if I didn't know this movie was gonna or this series was gonna be a trilogy,
Mhm.
I think I would have been a lot more disappointed. But now that I feel like she's gonna be, I'm hope she's gonna be in the second one.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I'm a lot more excited. She doesn't have a crazy amount of screen time,
no,
but like you said, there is one scene, arguably the goriest scene in the movie, or maybe even the most violent scene in the
it's
movie.
definitely the goriest and most violent, I think.
I would
Anyway.
say it's that, and then there's a scene with the priest during the exorcism.
Yeah, yeah.
But besides I would say yeah, and I thought she was great.
It
Like
was nice to see her back, man.
100%, and you can tell that she's having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the character's there. The character is 100% there. What
Um,
else do you think about this one?
well, I just wanted to say, like, I'm gonna just drop. We've said this a few times already this episode, but spoiler alert again, right now, straight up spoiler alert. Linda Blair.
Yeah,
They got Linda
uh,
Blair.
I was surprised by that one. I really, really am surprised by that.
I was hoping we'd see just like a photo of her or something, which we did. We saw photos of her.
Quite a few
And then,
photos. Yeah,
yeah, and I thought that was going to be it, though, you know?
yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. Linda Blair's great. I mean, that is one of the most iconic roles in cinema history. Is the role
Mhm.
of Reagan in The Exorcist.
Mhm.
So seeing her back, even if it is just for 10 seconds, um, again, if I didn't know this was a trilogy, I would be disappointed.
I feel
Happy, but
like
disappointed.
I feel like a lot of these bad reviews, I don't know that I'm reading. I kind of question. First off, do you know that this is just the first movie in a trilogy?
Yeah.
And second off, people talk like this is the only sequel to The Exorcist. There are
Yeah.
4 other sequels to The Exorcist.
Yeah.
And I think maybe one prequel even too.
Yeah. And I believe
So
I believe it was the second one was also notorious for being not great.
no, I know the third one gets a lot of praise.
Yeah.
The third one probably has the best reviews out of all of them, besides the original,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But none of them, besides the original and the third, have any good reviews. And just some of the reviews I'm seeing about this movie, it just makes me wonder if they even know that like there's other sequels.
It also makes you curious if, yeah, you always go through reviews, and I hate focusing too much on, you know, shitty reviews or
Mhm, mhm.
review show, but you kind of question. It's like, did they actually watch the movie,
Right?
or is it just they
Them
want to give it a
bashing him or
shitty?
bashing the movie or just even bashing David Gordon Green because they're pissed off about fucking Halloween ends.
Well, and that's the thing, and I mean, whatever, be upset. I know that when we saw Halloween Ends, we were both upset for a
Oh,
long time.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I still don't like that movie. Like, I
No,
will watch it again. I've only seen it the one time in
but that's
theaters, right? But
that's totally okay. You don't have to, I don't like that movie either, and we don't have to like that movie.
no, I don't like
Um,
it. But it doesn't
if
mean I don't like it. I love Pineapple Express. I'll say that right now.
Yeah, yeah, but and just going into it where it's like this movie is, a lot of people are going to hate it, and a lot of
Mhm.
people are not. A lot of people are going to get it or not get it, or just really dig certain aspects of it. You don't have to like the whole thing, but we're certainly trying to find things that we liked, and there was definitely things that we really liked in this movie.
Yeah.
You just can't compare it to something that was made in the 70s.
And that's
That's
something
like
that is an absolute classic and a legend in the horror genre. You just
absolutely, yeah.
can't compare
I loved how we were like we're gonna try not to compare it, and I feel like we spent most of the episode
it.
comparing it.
I
So
think I think we compared it in good ways though.
yeah, I think so.
You
Yeah.
know?
If nothing else, this movie makes me excited to see what they do with the next two.
David Gordon Green's not even confirmed to direct the next two.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where I would, like if it is announced that it's going to be a trilogy, I wouldn't mind seeing him.
Do it all.
Yeah. I mean, he's clearly had a vision for the first one.
Yeah.
He's got his writing team together. They clearly had a vision for the first one. Why not run with that?
Yeah.
I am curious to see, obviously, with the last 30 seconds of the movie with Chris and Reagan. I'm excited to see if they have any involvement in the next one. And I'm excited to see if the family that was showcased in this one will be back. Because I don't think it's the end of their story.
I don't think it is. And how awesome would it be if Chris and Reagan are even more, both of them, more of a presence in the next one?
More involved. I wouldn't hate it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't hate it at all. Yeah.
That would be pretty awesome, man.
Anything else on this one?
Man, I'm good.
Yeah.
I think
No.
we talked enough about it.
Fair enough. This leads us to our final rating for 2023's The Exorcist Believer Blairski out of 5 cornucopias of religious denominations, all performing an unprepared yet well-intentioned double exorcism. Out of 5, what do you give The Exorcist Believer?
Man, you use the biggest words there.
A walking encyclopedia slash thesaurus slash dictionary.
Oh man, I was back and forth on this one, a little bit, but I'm going to be giving it 3 cornucopias of religious denominations, all performing an unprepared yet well-intended double exorcism out of 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I am also going to give it 3 cornucopias of religious denominations, all performing an unprepared yet well-intentioned double exorcism out of 5.
You say that so much better than me.
I've been practicing it all day. 3, I think 3 out of 5 is a great score.
I think it's a totally solid score, man. Totally is solid score.
If you had told me even 3 months ago that I was going to be giving this 3 out of 5, I would have told you to take a long walk off a short pier.
Man, what did we give? I can't even remember what we gave Halloween Ends, but I think it was like 1.5 or something between the two of us.
We gave it, I refuse to talk about this for the next year. I am taking a vow of silence on anything regarding Halloween Ends.
You said that about Terrifier 2, but I just keep bringing it up.
Yeah, I don't remember that movie. That movie was a fever dream to me. Oh, goodness. I'm glad we saw this one. I'm glad that, yeah, it doesn't push any boundaries.
No.
It's not a whole lot of anything new.
It's no masterpiece, but it's not shit either. It's a good movie.
In the last week, we've seen 2 horror movies from massive franchises, and they were both a lot of fun.
Yeah, they were. I'm happy with both of them.
I think so,
to be honest
too.
with you.
Let's end on that note, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it, buddy.
From Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair, I'm Jess.
I'm Blair. Remember to stay scary.
And eat every sandwich. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Reviews That Scare. Make sure you check out our Linktree at linktree/reviewsthatscare. That's linktr.ee/reviewsthatscare, which has links to our Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, and many other things. If you'd like to email us, you can reach us at reviewsthatscare@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and remember to stay scary and eat every sandwich. A proud member of Pod Nation TV.